everybody to the bonus module of Next Level You. And I'm calling it a bonus / Q&A because there's a little bit more information that we wanted to give before we send you off into the wild blue yonder. And that is talking about creating and cultivating energy and frequencies and desires inside you as opposed to outside you. And what that means is you probably, if you've worked with me before, you probably heard me say 1,000 times, your inner world creates your outer reality. And we're going to expand on that just a little bit. Now, we cover that in intensity in our shifting into higher consciousness discourses, but we're not going to go into it as deep as we do there. You just need to know that concept and then that play around in your head for a minute. So what that means is whenever you're wanting something, whenever you're desiring something, whether it's respect from another person, whether it's somebody else to treat you honorably, value, your work, or see that you are worthy and lovable and whatnot. So it doesn't matter, whatever vibration it is that you've got going on, that's the one you're working with. Anytime we ask someone or expect someone to give that to us, right? That is an indicator that we don't have it. If we don't have it on ourselves, right? The reflection, the outer world reflection, right? The outer world reflects to us our internal reality. But if we don't have those vibrations in and on us, there is nothing for the outer world to reflect back to us. So for example, if I tell somebody that I want you to value my work and value everything that I do, and I don't have value anymore, then there is nobody in my outer world that can reflect value back to me because it's not here. I don't have it. The outer world can only reflect what you're holding in on your own divine line. So the second piece to that is when you are looking for someone else to value you or to love you or appreciate you or find you worthy or whatever it is, okay? You actually give them that power and you give away your power and you give your power to them, but you also give them this energetic piece of what we call personal responsibility. You now make the other person responsible for that self-love, for that self-worth, for that self-value, for whatever that vibration is. It is not their job to be responsible for those frequencies. It is your job to be responsible for those frequencies and to hold them in and cultivate them internally on your own divine line. The reason being is I can't manifest anything, right? If I don't have my power and my worth chips and I'm not holding them here, then I am not going to see empowered interactions or self-worth interactions in my outer world. What I'm going to experience is the complete opposite. I'm going to experience victim energies, victim thoughts. Everybody's out to get me. This never works. Everything sucks, right? And experience of how I'm unworthy rather than worthy. And that shows up in business a lot as people ghosting you on clarity calls, or you get on the phone and they have to check with their husband. They don't sign up right away. They say they're going to sign up, and then you check with them 3 days later and they ghost you on Messenger or on Facebook, or they don't return your emails. Okay. These are the ways they kind of show up to show you that you're not holding those frequencies internally. Okay. So with that, she did that. Okay. Wow, I did that in like 2 minutes. That was really cool. All right. So the second thing is, how do we hold those frequencies internally? Let's do the how. I'm all about the how. Let's do an example. Let's work with worth. Worth is like the topic of the subject of conversation. So let's do worth. Let's say I am now aware that I am not holding my worth on me. I am now aware that I'm not holding my power when it comes to worth on me, because I keep getting these um, emails or messenger whatevers that say, I'm not interested in this, or, it's too expensive, or working with you is, I can go somewhere else, whatever it is that's showing up, right? That gives you the indicator, the red light of, ooh, okay, they're not seeing my value. They're not seeing my worth. Okay, where is it, right? So when we ask, where is it? We go immediately with, am I holding my worth and my power on me? You always want to do a check-in, because sometimes you might be holding your power, but you're not holding your worth. Or you might be holding your worth, but you're not holding your power, right? You just want to double check. And we taught you the exercise in one of the modules of whose energy does this belong to? And you can ask, am I holding my power and my worth? And then tune in and see what you get. If it feels like really heavy, then you're probably not holding your worth or power. So we have to call it back, right? And there's all kinds of ways that you can call it back. You can call it back like using a meditation, or an energetic process. I apologize. I'm under these lights. My fan is going, it's like 90 degrees here. The windows are open. I'm sweating like a hog. So you can, and I'm in menopause. It's like a double whammy. So how do we do that? So you can visualize literally calling back your power, or you can sit in your divine line and ask your higher self, just be like, oh, higher self, whoa, we're not holding our power and our worth. Let's bring that all back, right? What I like to do is a really short process. It's very easy to do. Anybody can do it. And that process goes like this. I'm inviting my higher self, God source creator, my body's higher self, because your body does what you do, and my team at the level of their higher selves to the degree that they so choose to, number one, engage and locate all of my power and my worth chips. We call them chips, right? So if you imagine, like, they're like, chips that you get in Vegas. So we kind of like give away our chips to other people. So we want to engage and locate all of our power and worth chips that we literally gave away to others, okay? Or worth and power chips that were taken from us. Either way, we want to engage and locate them. We want to delete, dissolve. Number two, delete and dissolve is just remove all the falsities, all of the illusions from this energy. And then we're going to move into engage, locate, delete, dissolve. And to bring them back, lift them up and off. This is number three. Lift them up and off all systems, levels, components, and all aspects of everything and everyone who has my chips or took them. And then bring all those chips back to the level of my higher self, God source creator, who's going to clean them, clear them, recalibrate them, heal them if necessary, and then bring them back down onto your divine lines in a whole and healed state and into this current breath of now and beyond. So right now, just take a deep breath in. Close your eyes and feel all that energy coming back to you. And if you're in your divine line, kind of go in there a little further and see if you can't find your power and worth chips inside, coming in through the top of your crown. And once you feel that coming in through the top of your crown and down your divine line, what we would like to do is activate the spiritual lessons. So what that means is if I gave away my worth, I want to activate self-worth in my divine line. If I gave away my power, I want to activate greater states of empowerment in my divine line. And this kind of like locks it in, so it's not as easy to give away the second time around. And then what I want to do is update all identity grids, personality grids, all ways in which I perceive and are perceived in the world. And you don't have to say all that. All you have to do is say update, because I made it easy that way. And then repattern. And what the repatterning will do all of that work, and then engage in a soul stream of light to fill in and provide any healing for you that is required to the degree that you so choose. So it's engage and locate, delete, dissolve, bring everything back, activate the spiritual lessons in your divine line, update, repattern. Okay. And you have it on the recording so that you can use it, or you can record it as you so choose. Did who felt that? Did you guys feel that? Can you feel that little shift? Yes. Okay. We got a yes in the comments. Yay. Okay, cool. Okay. So when you feel that shift and the energy has stopped moving, that's how you know that the process is complete. Okay. Very good. All right. So now we want to move into a second component, which is more of the interaction with other people. So let's just imagine for a moment, you're doing your work, everything's great, you're feeling wonderful, and you walk into a situation where the energy in the room is really kind of conflicted. It's like a big Debbie Downer, right? And this happens a lot when you deal with family members, or you deal with coworkers, or you deal with other people who are not on a spiritual path, who are not on a consciousness path, who are not, growing, or they're not active in that way. They're just really kind of like regular old people. Thank you. The guides are like muggles. So whenever you run into the muggles, and the muggles have a really dense, heavy energy. And so sometimes when they go into victim energy, they can really tear it up. And what they like to try and do is take you with them. And it's not like, it's intentional, or it's, doing it with malice. It's, they don't know any better, right? They don't even know that they're doing it half the time. Okay. So when you are confronted with that can really derail your manifestations. We talk a lot about a train. The train goes in one direction, and then you walk into a room like that will completely stop your train and move it in completely the opposite direction. There's two things, or actually three things we want you to know about that. Number one is when you jump on their train of complaints, okay? Or whenever someone, let's go with the train of complaints. When you jump on someone else's train of complaints, you stop your train and you're reversing it in the other direction. Okay, that's number one. So you want to be conscious of not commiserating with someone else's complaints. So what does that look like? Oh my gosh, you would not believe what happened to me at the grocery store today. Linda rolled her freaking eyes and had the nerve to tell me I looked fat, right? And then you're sitting with a woman or somebody that you know, and you're like, oh my God, I know her. You mean the girl with the blonde hair? And she's always cranky every time you go in. She's usually at the register toward the front. Yeah, that's her. And then you start commiserating. Oh yeah, the last time I was there, she said this to me. Do you see how that train just left the station in the wrong direction? We jumped on the train and rode Linda all the way down to Judgment Town. Okay. That happens a lot more than you think it does. And by the time you realize that it happened, you're already on the train. So all that work that you set yourself up for before you even got there, donezo. Now you're moving in the wrong direction. So you want to get off those trains very quickly, okay? The second train is, and these are a little bit more challenging, because the second train is diving into someone else's pain or someone else's perception of how things are not working out. Okay. And this happens a lot between friends, mostly colleagues, any sisters, thank you. Anytime where you're together and you're telling a story or you're sharing something that might have happened that isn't such, high vibe flying disc, right? We talked a little bit about that borderline of spiritual bypassing and, what you're allowed to feel, what you're, when you're allowed to feel it, how long you're allowed to feel it, type of thing. But when you get into those types of situations, let's say you meet with your sister and your sister's life is the, disheveled mess, and you go in and all she does, let's say Christmas dinner, all she does is whine and complain about how her life is not working out for her, how she's trying all of these things, it's not working out. Everybody's, after me, oh, it figures that the car didn't start before I got here. You can see that they're already creating their train of motion, right? So it's really like watching a train wreck, right? You're standing there and you're watching her train go down the track. The piece that we want to remind you of is you have to catch yourself from hopping on the same train with her, because from her perspective, her story is her reality. Let's just put it that way. Her story is what her reality is. This is what she's creating. She's saying, look, I'm creating all of this shit, right? And if we sit here on the other side and we go, oh yeah, you are creating a lot of shit, and oh my gosh, that happened too, and you get invested in the story with them, well, now you're in trouble, because now you are also in her shit. Okay. That's just the little piece. The second piece to that is, get this, you have now confirmed to her that her stories of how her life is miserable are actually true, because you have reinforced her false belief system. And I know, the first thing you don't want to do at Christmas time is go, well, could you see this a little differently? Or how could you feel better in this moment? Is there a positive thought you can reach for right now, right? That's a great way to get punched in the face at Christmas, okay? Just FYI, great way. So you want to make sure that as you are engaging with people who are in this false belief system, to find a way to back yourself out. And so one of my favorite things that I do when I deal with my family, because my entire family is unconscious, is I go, that's interesting. That's it. I'm not reinforcing your false belief story that you're a victim, that everything's so hard. You're making it hard with all of your complaints. But I'm not going to reinforce that story for you and make it real. Because if I make it real for you, then guess what happens? It becomes real for me. And I do not want to play in your story of beliefs. Okay. So a couple of ways to kind of back out of that would be, oh, that's interesting. Interesting. Or I like the head nod. Like, so you're actively listening and you're holding the space, but you're not contributing. Or I change the subject. I mean, like flat out change the subject. Like, so how was your appointment on Wednesday? Like completely, like I'm not engaging in your shitstorm. And Christina's like, my energy tolerance is hella bougie. No, thank you. Yes. And that is the thing, is that you have to be very conscious, because if you're here and you're doing this course and you've gotten this far in that course, you are definitely energetically sensitive, right? And so you do not want to take on their issues, because number one, they're unconscious, right? Number two, they are waving the victim flag like it was a fucking parade on Thanksgiving, okay? And you do not want to be riding in that float. Trust me. Okay. You don't want to reinforce their beliefs because then it'll be harder for them to unravel them. You can, if you have a relationship with someone, and this is kind of what I do, this is kind of what Abraham suggests as well. And I never really realized that I did it. It was just one of those things that is a natural way that I'm wired. People are wired very differently. I am wired in the sense of solution orientation. I don't care what your problem is. I'll hear the problem. And as I'm hearing your problem, I am coming up with solutions. I'm not riding your train. I am coming up with solutions for you to turn your train in the opposite direction and giving you the opportunity to drive down a different path, right? So when you are talking with someone, if you have a really good relationship with, there may be opportunity to step in and be like, okay, all right. And I get what you're saying. I don't necessarily believe that, we're victims to our circumstances, but, I guess if that were me, this is what I would do. Or have you ever considered that maybe, you could see that a little differently? What's the other side of that coin? Okay, these are just like transition statements. You can come up with your own, right? Or I like the one, I just sit back. Like, I can't deal with my family, honestly. They are like totally like, right? So I just sit, Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. It's interesting that you see it that way. And maybe not this way, maybe it was this way and you just misinterpret it as that way. See, so you have to be very creative in the way in which you transition people. We call that redirection, actually, in therapy. I was a social worker, you probably already know that. We call that redirection, is to redirect them. It's basically saying, I'm not going down your bullshit victim trail with you. Find someone else. And they will find someone else. You'll notice that all of a sudden they're in the corner with someone else doing their whole victim game. You are not invited. So take that as a compliment. Okay. So keep those pieces in mind, and you can practice. You will get a lot of practice, trust me, everywhere you go, right? You will get a lot of practice with transition statements. They're reminding me like people in public places. So let's say somebody says something nasty to you that triggers you. You can intervene or redirect with, wow, that was really heated. Are you not having a good day today? We want to remember that people who respond and react in those ways, they aren't having good days. As a matter of fact, they're having sucky days, and they probably hate themselves, and they probably think that they're not worthy, they have no value, and the whole gamut. They're a victim, they have absolutely no control over their lives. So when we come into contact with people like that, the first thing that I like to do is go, whoa, she is totally unconscious. Not from a judgmental perspective, though. Okay, not be like, you're unconscious and I'm not, nanny poo poo, right? No, it's just from a perspective of, wow, that's so unconscious in the sense of thinking. So what that lets me know is, okay, whoa, that's so unconscious, which means I'm dealing with someone who's not going to be, responsive to my, well, let's look at this differently statements. Okay, so this helps me fiddle through all of my redirection statements and come up with one that is actually appropriate, allows me to stand in my power and respond at the same time, right? You don't have to take other people's shit. You can respond to it. So a simple, wow, you must be really having a bad day, right? You're just reflecting back to them or sending the energetic information of, right, what their internal reality is. Okay. So you want to just keep those things in mind. You do not want to commiserate, but you don't want, you can allow someone to be in their shit and just hold their space. Thank you. But you don't have to go in there with them. So they're giving me this example. I use this a lot. I wrote a blog about it. imagine that you're at the pool, your public pool. And this pool, unfortunately, is full of shit. I mean, head to toe shit. Like you dive in, you were covered in shit. Okay. And there will be people who are going to dive into that pool head first. And they're swimming around in it and they're rubbing it all over them. Okay. They love it. And they're like, come on in. The water's wonderful. Come swim in this shit with me. This is what we invite you to do. Do not dive into the pool. And if this serves like, a visual representation for you, the next time you're in that type of engagement or conversation, then great. Your job is to stand at the side of the pool, outside the shit, right? Going, no thanks. I'm good here. There's no shit in the pool on this side of the fence or on this side of the ladder. Maybe you want to come with me and have a seat at the side. No, I want to swim in the shit. And you can simply say, okay, you swim in the shit. I'm going to stand here on the side of the pool and I'm going to hold space for you. And when you're done swimming in the shit, I'll be here to get you up the ladder. And just for reference, I'm not going to show you, I'm not going to pull you up or push you over or drag you into the ladder. The ladder is over there. You're not doing anything for them other than holding the space and showing them where the ladder is. And how that translates in 3D is you're not doing anything for them. You're holding your energy in on your own divine line and you're pouring through soul light the whole entire time you're there, holding that space. And that's showing them the energy that you're holding. We call that modeling right energy. You're actually modeling the solution to their shit. Let me know if that makes sense or if you have any questions. Okay. Good. All right. So that leads us to our meditation. It's a really short one. We've done it before, but we're going to do it a little differently. So tonight, right now, take a minute to jot down, whether in the comments or on your paper, either or, where might you have been engaged with someone where you swam in the pool with them? Let's find our swim mates. Where did you swim in the pool? Who did you swim in the pool with last? I want you to find that person in your head or write it down or share with it. Write down who it was and what it was about. Like what she was, swimming in the shit about. Christine's like, my ex's entire existence. Excellent. Okay, so we can use your ex. Let's do that. Because that's a really good one. Like, that's like, that energy feels like my entire family. And how I feel about that. Heather, my roommate is like that too. Yes. Okay, cool. It's like, I just want to sit here and whine and swim in the shit pool. No, don't try and tell me to come out of the pool. I want to stay here. Christine, my mother gets that way. Yeah, my mother's like that too. My mother's total victim. Cannot see a single leaf for the trees. My cousin, she's always in the shit pool. Okay, cool. All right. All right. Let's close our eyes just for a minute. Let's take some deep breaths in. Pull in all your energy and awareness into your divine line. Let's take 3 deep breaths. On your inhale, I'm going to invite you to pull in source energy through the top of your head. On the exhale, pull that source energy and push it down and out through your feet. Let's do that 3 times starting now. Number 1, deep breath in. Exhale through the feet. Deep breath in. Exhale through the feet. Deep breath in. Exhale through the feet. There we go. Now we're settled. Excellent. Now, in this space, I want you to imagine or envision that person, whoever that is for you, whether it's your cousin, your mother, your roommate, your ex, envision that person like 30 feet away from you, like not anywhere close, 30 feet away from you. And notice if there are ropes around them. And these ropes are your ropes of expectation, trying to get things maybe to fulfill you. Maybe you've given them your self-worth. Maybe you've tried to give them your power and you're holding them really tight. Maybe it's judgment. See how tight, notice how tight your ropes are. Are they super tight? Are they loose? Are they pulling you in as well? And again, look to your right hand. How tightly are you holding on to make this person do something, be something, give you something, react differently? And when you're ready, I'm going to invite you to drop the rope, not only from your hand, but from around the other person. These are your ropes that are binding their energy. Let it go. But they're still going to stand there in front of you. And I'm going to invite you to imagine now to go through your pockets and put all of their things, all of their shit, anywhere you got shit on you from the pool, put it in a golden bag, silk bag that you pull out from your pocket or from the floor, and put all of their things that belong to them into the gold pouch, right? So any of the responsibilities, any of their stories, and they're showing me like little emoji poop pieces, put all their poop in there. If you have their power, put their power in there. If you have a soul fragment of theirs, put that in there. If you have any resentment, put that in there. And then scan yourself for any energy that might be on your fields that belongs to them. And just like with a Shark vacuum cleaner, vacuum that field everywhere those little pieces are, and then put the vacuum cleaner in the bag. I'm just going to give you a minute to do that. When you have it all, you're going to send the bag back to them. And you're going to notice that's really just going to float away. It's going to float away and it's going to go back to them. And they're unloading it. They're looking at it. They're taking back all of their stuff. And as they empty the bag, they're now going through all of their pockets for your pieces. And they're putting that in the golden bag. So you're returning all of their stuff. And in return for that, they are going to return your things. Make sure everybody's clean and clear. So any soul fragments, lessons, tasks, karma, responsibilities, attachments, imagine they're putting that in the bag, all belongs to you. Anywhere you ask them to be responsible for anything. And then watch as that bag then starts to float back to you. When it's about a foot away, do not grab it. Source God, source creator, higher self, whomever it is going to first beam it with white diamond light. That white diamond light is going to come straight down onto the bag and it's going to clean, clear, heal, repair, and recalibrate everything that's in that bag before it hits you. So you make sure you don't have any of their energy on it. And when that's complete, take your bag and notice it's gold sparkle dust inside. That's all of your energy. Pour all the gold sparkle dust over your head and down and around in your fields. Notice if there's any cords in between you and this other person that don't feel good, like they're discordant. You know, sometimes with parents, we have a natural heart cord, which is appropriate, but sometimes there are other cords that don't feel good and they're not appropriate. Scan yourself, you and the other person, and see if there's any cords. And if there are, ask God, Source, Creator, Higher Self to use that diamond white light to cut the cords, to remove the cords and any hooks from your energetic fields. Now allow yourself to sit in your divine line here and watch as this other person starts fading away into the darkness. They're done here. This energy piece is gone. They are leaving. You will notice or find yourself standing on this beautiful golden platform right beneath your feet. Allow yourself, higher self, God, Source, Creator, to then bring in that golden honey healing light straight through the top of your head, down into your divine line, down into your earth chakra through both your feet, anchoring you on that golden platform that you're standing on there. Anchor those in, your little feet chakras, lock them in like suction cups. And allow that golden honey light to not only fill every system, organ, gland, tissue, all systems, levels, components, and aspects of your body and your being and your body's being, but fill it up till it's around you. Fill it up more and push it out into the physical body field. And again, push it out into the emotional body, out into the mental body. Push it out again into the spiritual integrated field, the furthest away from your body. Out here is where things happen like lightning. There you go. We invite you to sit in that divine line to activate the spiritual lessons of all of the pieces that you've returned to yourself, all of those vibrations. Activate them internally in your divine line. You might even hear like a click, 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 click in your divine line. Update and repattern. Same for your body, same for your team, to the degree they so choose. I'm going to take one really big, deep breath in. Feel it filling up your whole diaphragm, including all the way down into your root chakra. Exhale down through your feet. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay. Very good. So now we're going to move into the questions and answers. You can do questions and answers from any of the material that we've covered so far, or if you have any other questions that have just been kind of ruminating in your head, feel free to unmute or type it in the comments, and we'll be able to answer those for you now.
Elizabeth, could you go over real quickly again? You talked about the new platform, but just being able to download the material that we have now, the workbooks and everything, that's still good for another couple days, or have I missed that train?
No, you're good. Next Level You is what I call a signature program. So I'm going to have people come through this again. So those should be able to be downloaded right
Okay.
now. You should be
Okay.
able to get the MP3 files. The videos stay on our server because they're too many megabytes to
Right.
upload. But yes, you should have the workbooks and the MP3s available to you now. Now, what I would suggest you do is download them like now. Don't wait until later, because I could change my mind and forget to tell everybody, and then you'd be like, I don't have access. So
Okay.
make sure you keep them. Yeah, get them as soon as you can.
And the meditations for the MP3s, like, I know we did it a week at a time, took time to integrate, but would you suggest if we were to download those MP3s of just the meditations themselves, like, or fast forward, whatever we have to do?
Yeah, you can.
Regularly?
You don't have to go through the whole class again unless you want to. You can absolutely fast forward to the meditations. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them were really good ones.
Mm.
Anybody else? No questions? Oh my gosh, are you serious?
And you would prefer the testimony on Facebook?
It doesn't matter. I mean, as long as I'm going to post it on social media. So, I mean, it really doesn't matter. If you want to post it in the Awaken and Align group, I can just snapshot it from there. If you, and thank you for wanting to share one. And if you have a photograph that you would like to have on our website, make sure you let me know what that is. And if you have a link to your business, or you want your title listed, like I can say Christina Holistic Nutritional Coach, right? Just let me know that too. And I'm more than happy to put that on there for you guys, because then people can Google it and look you up.
So I know we can keep doing the work and go back to it. I was wondering how it relates to the container. Like when we go back and do more, is the container always active for us because we were in this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's how all of my containers are. That's what makes the Academy something. Ooh, I just got chills. That's what makes the Academy huge, is because, there's 355 files, 30 courses, but all of those containers are active. So yeah. And this one will be too. Anytime you go in, it's like containers up. Yeah. Now that doesn't, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm coming to do healing or anything around you, right? But the container itself is there. The guides are there. Your guides are there. It's all set. That's a good question, actually. What else? Nobody has any questions? I must be really good at what I do.
I have a question related to what we did today, sort of.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, how did that feel for everybody? Let me know.
How are people who like to swim in shit able to manifest things?
You manifest. That's a great question. I love that question. Oh my God,
I know people who do that, and I'm like, how are you doing
that? Yes. It's like, so I actually did a video on it. How do people who suck manifest and become millionaires? And that's because they're in absolute total alignment with receiving. Like, they could be the total fucking biggest assholes on the planet and have absolutely zero compassion, but they are not blocking themselves from receiving. They don't have worth issues, value issues. They think they're the hottest shit on the planet. They're probably even a little delusional, and they are just raking in the money because they don't have those specific things that hold them back, right? So that for them is, alignment with receiving. They're open to receiving. Now, we manifest all the time, right? Every time you have a thought, or every time you have a desire, every time ooh, I want that curtain. Ooh, I want that shade of lipstick. Those are manifestations. They're like requests that you put out into the universe. So we manifest all the time and everybody does it. There is no special person who manifests, more than others. We all are manifesting at the same time. The key is the receiving. Are you open to receive what it is that you're manifesting? Where is it that you don't think that you're good enough? Where are you telling yourself it's not spiritual to receive? Where are you telling yourself that money is evil, that rich people are evil, that having a huge mansion and fancy cars is not good, right? Those are the areas where most of us kind of get blocked in. And based on your story and how you've grown up, right? Those are where people really get stuck in receiving. But people who are assholes who are receiving millions of dollars, they have no problem with that. They're like, give me the money. And they have no qualms about asking for it. They don't give a shit about how you feel about it. Give me the money. Okay. Sorry, that's my reminder that I'm making $25,000 a month, even as I sleep. I set reminders on my phone to remind me to be in that big energy. Okay. That's a great question, Heather. Thank you so much. So we have actually some meditations, and all of the work that we've done up until this point has been to release those mindsets to be able to be in those receiving modes ourselves. That's the whole purpose of the course, is recognizing who you are, that you are so powerful that you can have everything that you create, want, or desire. And here are some tools to help you get there. Very cool. Anybody else? Nope. Wow. I thought you guys would have like a ton of questions. I guess that's why there was like another course, another piece for tonight. Excellent. Okay, so I'm just going to close out the recording. I want to thank everybody who's watching the recording and who attended live for joining us for the Next Level You. It has been an honor to serve you in this way, and we wish you many, many joyful thoughts as you move into your next level, and then your next, and then your next. Let it be so. Oh. Okay.